The other day, I decided to take a solo tour around Manila, but I wanted to do it differently. I wanted to take the modes of transport that are often ignored by most people. And I'm talking about commuter trains and ferries. So I drew up a route in my head, decided that I wanted to eat in Binondo, took a jeepney to the train station nearest me, and enjoyed an experience that is strangely unique, even to most people who have lived all their lives in Metro Manila. The commuter trains of the Philippine National Railways travel from Calamba to Tutuban at intervals of 30 to 45 minutes, more or less. The fare from Dela Rosa to Tutuban was 15 pesos, and the train arrived a minute earlier than scheduled. I managed to board one of the PNR's newest trains, the ones made by INKA, an Indonesian company. In September 2018, when I visited Jakarta, my friend Arif and I actually took an INKA-made train. I thought it was a modern and comfortable train and was very excited that Manila would soon have similar carriages running on its steel tracks.
Hi, good afternoon. This is my friend Arif, my local host here in Jakarta. If you Filipinos don't know yet, the Philippines is actually going to buy 5 train sets from Indonesia. It says rail link, this is what they call it. And yes, INKA Indonesia, that's where we're going to buy the new train sets for Manila.
Immediately after I stepped inside the train, I realized that I may have been too excited. The trains are fine actually, but the tracks are something else. They are ill-maintained, and the train carriages bob up and down and sway from side to side. Often I feared it would get derailed, but the train moved so slowly through blighted paths that falling off the rails was difficult to imagine. The views outside the train are very sad and, well, ugly. I often wonder why these areas have been so badly neglected and allowed to waste away in the manner that they do today. The stations are also in such sorry states of disrepair, and it doesn't get any better when we slow down into the train yard of Tutuban. There, I saw old cars, carriages, and entire train sets being offered to the gods of rust and decay. The only bright spot there was that all the marshals on our train got off, lined up to wash their hands at a designated hand washing area, and proceeded to the lobby of the Tutuban station to act as guards. From the Tutuban station, I took a minute to find my bearings. I wanted to walk to Binondo, which I knew was technically possible. I just needed to get to Lucky Chinatown. I first walked past a pedestrian walkway through the Tutuban Mall, which was eerily empty. Most of the shops were closed and there were very few people checking out the merchandise. After a minute, I was crossing a street which I didn't realize was already part of Divisoria. The mayor had done a good job at clearing the streets of illegal vendors, but the pandemic had done an even better job at depriving entrepreneurs of their livelihood. I almost didn't recognize the area, although I hadn't been to these places in a long time, and even then, not too often. Before long, I was crossing an estero to get to an area just behind the Binondo church. The pedestrian bridge is called Ongpin Bridge, and it crosses the Estero de la Reina, which, despite its royal name, is anything but regal. After I got off the bridge, I was immediately in familiar territory. I stood outside of Dongbei dumplings where I'd eaten many times. It's still open, but the famous dumplings are available only for takeout. I wasn't keen on sitting on the pavement to eat, so I decided to seek out another of my usual Chinatown spots, Lanzhou Mian. Getting there takes you through the famous street of Ongpin, which is also a name used to refer to the entire area of Chinatown. I carried on to Benavidez and found out that Lanzhou Mian is closed. There were small signs outside the store in Chinese, and I concluded that they may have branches nearby. So I walked about a kilometer to their Masangkay branch, and along the way found even more Binondo secrets hiding in plain sight. I didn't wait long to get a seat on Lanzhou Mian and ordered hand-pulled noodles topped with tender slices of beef. They call this dish spirits kanpan lamyan. There is also a soupy version of this dish. I finished my dish rather quickly, and afterwards I walked back to the Binondo church area to take out some roasted meats from Ying. A friend of mine saw my post on Facebook and asked if I could buy something for him as well. The cuisine in Binondo is a lot closer to Hong Kong than it is to Singapore or Malaysia, which I don't really mind. Then I walked to Escolta to take the ferry to Makati. I wasn't aware of the schedule at the time, but I was willing to wait. I was informed that there was a ferry leaving at 3 p.m., but I knew that the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority took delivery of new ferries recently, so I asked if one was scheduled to arrive. I had to wait an entire hour for the next trip. It was a good thing that there was a cafe just around the corner from the Pasig River Ferry Station in Escolta. Currently, it costs nothing to travel on the river, and ferries are scheduled to arrive and leave the stations every hour from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There are several docking stations all along the Pasig River, starting in Guadalupe up to Escolta, and the view throughout the entire ride is scenic and not in a poverty-porn kind of way. Much has improved since the first time I took the ferry over 10 years ago, and I hope that more people take this mode of transport so that services improve. You can take as many pictures as you want during the ride, except when you pass by the area of the Malacanang Palace. A member of the Philippine Coast Guard will actually board the ferry and make sure that all cameras are put aside. From Manila to the Valenzuela Station behind the Makati City Hall, the trip took a total of 1 hour and 10 minutes, which isn't fast, but probably faster compared to rush hour traffic. And just like that, my trip around Manila, Binondo, and Makati, taking different modes of transportation, was over.
So this is the Valenzuela Station. It's just behind the Makati City Hall. This is the nearest station to where I live. It looks very alien and unfamiliar to me. I hope I find my way.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't done it yet, please hit the like button and subscribe. See you again soon!